Hello, my name is Kayleah Duncan, and I have been with the Haven Project since 2019. In a moment, we will begin reading anonymous survivor stories submitted to the Haven Project. Please be aware that these stories may be understandably triggering, upsetting, and explicit. If you need to talk with anyone or report anything, please know that you can contact the IUP Counseling Center at 724-357-2621. We will end this virtual speak out with additional resources available. Here we encourage survivors to submit their stories so that they can be told in a safe space, virtually to allies, peers, faculty, and staff who are here to support you. Please know that the IUP Haven Project is here for you. We hear you, we believe you, we support you.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the virtual speak out for Take Back the Night 2022. First, I would like to thank you all for your time and for standing up for survivors. This night would not be possible without the support of the IUP community and for the anonymous survivors who submitted their stories for this virtual speak out. My name is Lizzy, and I'm the graduate assistant for the Haven Project. The Haven Project is the department on campus here at IUP that provides education, resources, and brings awareness to topics including sexual violence, dating and domestic violence, stalking, consent, healthy relationships, and bystander intervention. Take Back the Night is all about overcoming fear. The fear of the unknown, the fear of isolation, the fear of pain, the fear of silence. Sexual assault, rape, and intimate partner violence are not just issues that impact women. They impact everyone and every gender. The fear caused by these traumatic issues affects us all. As a society, we all bear the consequences. However, as a society, we all have the power to fight back and end the silence surrounding power-based violence. Together, we are a strong, unstoppable force fighting for awareness and providing endless support. This night is not just for us. It's for our friends, it's for our loved ones, it's for the people that we don't know who have been impacted by these issues, and it's also for us. It's on us to stop the violence once and for all. Tonight, we say me too, and let's do something about that. We will no longer hide in silence. We will no longer be silent victims because we are survivors, strong, resilient survivors who need to be heard. Every anonymous survivor story of sexual violence that's included in this virtual speak out will be read by Haven Project peer educators. These stories are real, and they were not just created for this event. However, these stories are not the stories of the Haven Project peer educators who are reading them, so try to keep that in mind while you are listening. We will end the virtual speak out with a slide of resources. This event is to continue to show our support for survivors by sharing their stories, sharing their struggles, and most importantly, how they overcame and how they are no longer just surviving, but they are thriving because there is hope. There is empowerment. There is triumph. We hear your stories. We believe you. And most of all, we support you.
When I was 6, my mom left me at our neighbor's house for a year after school until she got off work. The neighbor left me with her two boys who were around 12 and 14, and they used to play role-play games with me like House or Doctor. The game started off innocently, but then progressed into them touching me like a dad would to their wife or a doctor to a patient, developing into them holding me down and experimenting with my body. This was so much for me, and I was so little my mind couldn't handle these things. And I just recently started to remember these things that I was forced to forget about.
My story is nothing crazy compared to what others go through. I thought I had a guy best friend, yet he continually preyed on me. He wouldn't take no for an answer and pushed things to get physical. Luckily, I had it in me to get out before anything serious happened. But to this day, I'm still wary of getting close to people like him.
I was 8 years old. He was my mother's boyfriend, and everyone in our family loved him. When I told my mom what he did to me, she basically ignored me. She didn't believe me, or maybe she didn't want to. Worse, maybe she did know on some level, but for reasons I will never fully understand, she did nothing to stop it. Whatever the case, I was on my own and I knew it. It started out innocently enough. He would grab me at random as I walked by and tickle me on the ribs, behind the knees, wherever. Children love attention, and I was no exception. But then one day, and I still wonder if he was somehow grooming my mom too, because for whatever reason, we were all laying on her bed in a big, happy snuggle pile when she got up and left the room, left me alone there on the bed with him. And that's when it first happened. People talk about triggers. My trigger is spearmint gum. He was so close to me, whispering in my ear as the scent of that gum, his watery blue eyes, his hitched breathing, the things he said to me as he violated my little girl body that first time. These are things that still haunt me. He's dead now. The first thing I felt when I heard of his passing was red hot rage because I never got justice. I seized with anger as I read the beautiful obituary that his family wrote, praising him for a life well lived, because I knew the truth about who he was, about what he had done. His family knew the truth too, because I had told them once upon a time, and when I told them, they asked me to leave him alone, to not seek justice because he had found God and he was a changed man. He may have found God, but he was not a changed man. After he passed, I heard whispers about the other little girls.
On the first day of third grade, I pronounced the name wrong with a student I had just met. From that moment on, he and his friends set out to make my life a living hell during recess. By fifth grade, it was rape and gang rape in the woods behind the soccer fields on Mondays. I tried everything I could think of, including purposely misbehaving so I would get the punishment of not having to go to recess. But they found other ways to bully me in the classrooms and grab me in the hallways. None of the teachers believed me, and the guidance counselor called my mom to say I was a chronic liar. My mom didn't believe me and believed the school. It didn't help that the boy's mother taught first grade at the school. I was able to move away and switch schools for middle school and high school, thankfully. I've never seen them since, however, I struggle secretly dealing with this and have mental illnesses as a result.
Growing up has been a never-ending cycle of people of any gender grooming me, sexually assaulting me, or even raping me. It all started with my biological dad. Then, it happened at my first job. Supposedly, my manager was in charge of hiring and firing new girls. He was a part of the LGBTQ+ community, but every now and then, he would touch me. This being my first job, I didn't know what to do. I was also a minor. My next job wasn't the same, but my third job was the worst experience that I have ever been through. There was this one driver who would always say the most sexual things to me and started touching me. First, it would be a hug. Then it grew to grabbing my butt, to touching my privates. It was worse when he was drunk. He would shamelessly smack my lower area when others were around. There were times where I needed a ride home and he would take me. He wouldn't let me go with anyone else. And in his car, he would grab me and make me feel him. I would speak up about these things, but my manager didn't handle it very well. Eventually, I gave in. Every Sunday at my job, we would get drunk since the following day we were closing. He would always text me that he would be taking me home. Yes, I blocked him 3 times. And every time, he managed to get a new number to text me from. I didn't have the time to change my number, and I was scared to tell my mom or anyone else why I needed to change my number. The worst part is that he was not the only one at this job doing this. However, the others just tried to touch my butt, but they made it seem like it was a mistake. But this one cook could not let me go. There was a time where I mistakenly went out with him. We got really drunk that night and we were with other people in a car. He grabbed my face and started to make out with me. I couldn't see straight, but he continued to make out with me. He kept saying, "You're mine, you're mine." All I did was nod my head. When we would stop places, people there would look at me and try to hit on me. So I said, "I'm with him. He's my boyfriend." For a while, everything was okay in our relationship. But then, he would ask for photos, and when I sent him one with clothes on, he would ask for a prettier one. He would be very possessive too. In front of everyone, he grabbed my ass and said, "This is mine, don't forget." Even after I found out that he was seeing someone else, and after we broke up, he would still hate other guys talking to me. I'm not sure if this is a good thing, that he wouldn't let me talk to other guys, especially since most of them would make me uncomfortable, but he really wouldn't let anyone talk to me. And his younger brother made sure of it. Another job I had to cut my days short because a female, not a male, coworker was harassing me. She would show me her nude photos despite me saying that I did not want to see them. Another female coworker would often stand too close and softly touch my back towards my boobs. Another male coworker wouldn't stop asking me to go out with him, even after I said no. So, I've come to the conclusion that no matter where I work, I will always be harassed by someone, male or female. To this day, some of my male coworkers call me Mia Khalifa and won't leave me alone when I tell them to stop. I'm tired. This happens outside of my jobs too. My exes and even friends have been overly touchy. My ex raped me the first time we met. Then, my ex-best friend said that he wanted to fuck me in the exact same spot where my ex raped me. Will I ever get out of situations like this? I'm not sure. I've become very cold, and people still continue to treat me this way.
I was working as a counselor, and even at 30 years old, I endured sexual harassment. My boss began with subtle jokes about sex, and then progressed to commenting on my weight and other provocative comments. Although it was a very uncomfortable experience, I learned and grew a lot. I learned to start setting boundaries in the workplace and that I am entitled to say no and please stop.
I was with my friends and I was walking home with one of the guys from the group. I thought I could trust him. I've never had any problems with him before. We were close. We joked around and always had a great time until we walked home. We had just finished studying and the two of us left the library a little later than normal. He had offered to walk me back to my apartment since it was on the way to his. When we got to my apartment, he insisted on coming in and kind of forced his way in behind me. I couldn't understand what was happening. I was scared, confused, yet frozen at the same time. I wanted to fight him, but I couldn't. After the assault, he got up and said he had a great night and left me alone in my apartment. I haven't talked to him since that night, yet when he sees me, he smiles and waves. It's taken a while, but I know it's not my fault. There's nothing I could have done to stop it. You are not alone.
Hello everyone, my name is Jen McCroskey and I am the Sexual Violence Prevention Educator for the Haven Project. On behalf of the Haven Project, I would like to thank all of you who joined us here at the Virtual Speak Out to show your support for victims and survivors. It's inspiring to know that you are here and watching and showing that IUP and the surrounding community does not tolerate sexual violence. Our concluding slides share resources on and off campus where you can go for support, information, and help. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to contact the Haven Project.